Hello, ninth grade. Good morning. How are you guys? I hope you're all doing fine and I really hope you're all healthy. All right, so today's class is about naming chemical compounds. We already saw how to make a chemical compound, which is the last classes that we've done in making ionic compounds and making a covalent compounds, right? When we exchange the numbers. Now we're gonna learn how to name those chemical compounds that we made. And the naming rules are different. We have rules for ionic compound. Again, remember, ionic means a metal and a non-metal. So we have rules for ionic and we have rules for covalent. In today's class, we're only going to see rules for ionic. Since in ionic compounds, we have a metal, the first thing we're going to make is name the metal. But if it is a transition metal, we need to place the charge between parentheses, and that number, we're going to put it in Roman numerals. I'm going to explain this right now, all right? After we name the metal, we name the non-metal, all right? Just in the non-metal, this is very important. We change the ending to "ide." All right, for example, if we have oxygen, it's no longer going to be called oxygen. It's going to be called oxide. If we have chlorine, we're going to call it chloride. All right? And if it is a polyatomic ion is on the back of your periodic table and they have a given name, we're not going to change that name. It's reading the exact same way. So we're going to start with a few examples. Let me grab my periodic table. And I'm going to start with a simple metal so that we get this. Let's grab magnesium. Magnesium is in group 2A, so it has a charge of +2. And we're going to add magnesium to fluorine. Fluorine has a charge of -1. We already know how to do this because this needs to add up to 0. So I put a 2 here. So that this 2 multiplies 2 times 1, -2, +2 minus 2, 0, right? So our chemical compound is magnesium MgF2. All right, now how am I going to name this? My first rule is name the metal. So I'm going to name my metal magnesium. Is magnesium a transition metal? No, so I don't put a Roman numeral. And then I have fluorine. Fluorine, this is fluorine. And the rule tells me that I'm going to change the ending to "ide." So this I'm going to eliminate and I'm going to change it to "ide." So the name of this chemical compound would be magnesium fluoride. And that's how you name this first example that I made here. But let's make a few others. All right, let's grab potassium. Potassium has a charge of +1 because it's in group A. And we're going to add it with oxygen. Oxygen has a charge of -2 because it's a group 6A. All right, so this needs to add up to 0. I put a 2 here. 2 times 1, +2 minus 2 equal to 0. So my chemical compound is K2O. All right, how do I name? First, my metal. So my metal is potassium. Is potassium a transition metal? No, because it's in group 1A. Now I name oxygen. And I need to change the ending. So in oxygen, I'm going to take all this off and I'm going to put the "ide." So oxygen is no longer called oxygen, but it's called oxide. So the name of this one is potassium oxide. Are we good? We're going to make an example with a transition metal. Remember the elements the transition metals are the ones that are in the middle. If you can see my periodic table here, it's all the ones that are in yellow. All of this is transition metals. So with those ones, you're going to have to put the Roman numerals if you have that element, you're going to have to put a Roman numeral. So let's make one example with a transition metal. Let's grab iron. And in here, we need to be very careful because iron can have a charge of +2 or iron can have a charge of +3. So we're going to combine it with chlorine. Chlorine has a charge of -1. Okay, so we're going to do the next. If iron having a charge of +2 combines with chlorine, we would form FeCl2. All right, let's leave it with a charge of +2. But because iron can have 2 charges, you need to specify what charge am I using. So first we name the metal, iron. Fe is iron. Between parentheses, I'm going to put my charge. What charge am I using? 2. I just put it in Roman numerals, so iron 2. And then I name the non-metal. I have here chlorine. And I'm going to change the ending to "ide." All right, so this chemical compound is iron chloride. All right, and that's how you name with a transition metal. So far with polyatomic ions, we haven't seen it yet, so we're not going to do it right now. We're just going to practice like this, regular elements. I'm going to make another example with a transition metal. Let's grab, we can use chromium, charge of +6. And we're going to grab phosphorus, charge of -3. All right, so here we have +6 minus 3, +3. So this 3, I need to make it a 6. And this is really simple because I just add up a 2 here. 2 times 3, 6. +6 minus 6 equals 0. All right, so my chemical compound is chromium, phosphorus 2. All right, now comes the naming. First, I'm going to name my metal. Is chromium a single metal or is it a transition metal? Chromium, if you can find it in your periodic tables, it's right here. So it is a transition metal. So I know I'm gonna write its name. Chromium. And since it's a transition metal, I open parentheses. And I'm gonna put the charge. We're using a charge of 6. So I put number 6 in Roman numerals. So I put 6. All right, a B and a 1. Chromium 6. And here we have phosphorus. And we're going to change the ending. We're going to change it to "ide." So this chemical compound is named chromium 6 phosphide. And that's it. All right, I'm gonna make 2 more examples. Really hope you understand it well, and if you don't, please send me a message and I can put another video of this. All right, let's grab calcium and sulfur. Calcium has a charge of +2. Sulfur has a charge of -2. +2 minus 2, 0. So I don't do anything with this 2 guys. It's already done. That's my chemical compound. First, I'm going to name my metal, calcium. Is calcium a transition metal? No. So no parentheses and no Roman numerals. Then we have sulfur. We're going to change the ending to "ide." So it's calcium sulfide. And that's the name of this chemical compound. One more, guys. One more, and I'm gonna grab nickel here. Nickel, and I'm gonna put a charge of 3. Let's grab bromine, which has a charge of -1. All right, we first make our chemical compounds. 3 minus 1 equals to +2, sorry, so I need to change this to a 3. 3 times negative 3 equal to 0. So my chemical compound is nickel, Br3. All right, where is nickel? Nickel is number 28. Nickel is right here. So it's a transition metal. So I first name nickel, and I'm using a charge of 3. I open parenthesis, 1, 2, 3, close parenthesis, and then I name the nonmetal and I change the ending to I. This Mr. right here is called bromine. So I change this ending to ide. So it's nickel bromide. This is the name of this compound, NiBr3. It's called nickel 3 bromide. All right, so this is a naming. Once you get it, it's really simple, but it requires a little bit of practice. So watch the video, and if you don't understand, please send me a message and I'll upload another video, or we can make a conference by Zoom and we can all be together and have a virtual class. I'll be waiting for your comments, guys. Have a nice day.